हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द लाइव सेशन। तो आज हम देखेंगे एनसीईआरटी पॉलिटी का टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें आज हम देखने वाले हैं set-4। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज। और आप भी देखिए, और आपका आंसर आता है तो मुझे चैट में बताइए। तो शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, which one of the following acts laid the foundation of the British administration in India? Regulating Act 1773, Pitt's India Act 1784, Indian Council Act 1861, Indian Councils Act 1892। तो इसका आंसर है इंडियन काउंसिल्स एक्ट 1892। The expression creamy layer used in the judgment of the Supreme Court relating to the case regarding reservation refers to those sections of societies which pay income tax, those sections of socially and educationally backward classes of the society that are economically advanced, those sections of the society that are considered advanced according to Karpuri Thakur formula, all sections of upper caste of the society। इसका आंसर है those sections of socially and educationally backward classes of the society that are economically advanced। Where can impeachment proceedings against the president be initiated? In Lok Sabha, at a joint sitting of the two houses specially called for the purpose, in either house of parliament, in the Supreme Court। तो इसका आंसर है in either house of parliament। फोर्थ नंबर एसेशन रीजन है। एसेशन है द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया एंजॉयज द पावर ऑफ जुडिशियल रिव्यू। रीजन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया इज ऑब्लाइज्ड टू एनफोर्स द लॉज एनेक्टेड बाय द पार्लियामेंट विदाउट गोइंग इनटू देयर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिटी। तो इसका आंसर है बी, एसेशन इज ट्रू बट रीजन इज फॉल्स। The Governor General was given ordinance making power for the first time by the Indian Councils Act 1861, Indian Councils Act 1892, Government of India Act 1858, none of the above। इसका आंसर है Indian Councils Act 1861। Which of the following statements is or are correct? The Supreme Court's decrees and orders are enforceable throughout India. The SC is not bound by its earlier decisions. In its powers of judicial review, the Supreme Court can declare a law unconstitutional on the basis of the objectives underlying the law. The Constitution excludes no area from judicial review। तो इसका आंसर होगा B, 1 and 2। Which of the following are judicial power of the President of India? He can remove the judges of the Supreme Court on grounds of misconduct. He appoints the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court. He can grant pardon, reprise, and respite to the persons. He can consult the Supreme Court on any questions of law or fact which is of public importance। तो इसका आंसर है C. 2, 3 and 4. Which one of the following has been wrongly listed as a criterion for appointment as a judge of the Supreme Court? He must have been an advocate of a high court for not less than 10 years. He must, in the opinion of the President, be a distinguished jurist. He must have attained the age of 55 years. He must have been judge of a high court for at least 5 years. तो इसका आंसर है he must have attained the age of 55 years. The fundamental duties of a citizen of India do not include to protect and improve the natural environment, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to strive towards abolition of untouchability. तो इसमें डू नॉट इंक्लूड वाला है, तो इसका आंसर होगा डी, टू स्ट्राइव टुवर्ड्स एबोलिशन ऑफ अनटचेबिलिटी. The cases involving an interpretation of the Constitution fall within the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, appellate jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, none of these. तो इसका आंसर है original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. With reference to the presidential election in India, consider the following statements. The nomination paper of a candidate for the presidential election should be signed by at least 50 electors as proposers and 50 as seconders. The prescribed security deposit in the presidential election is rupees 25,000. Which of these statements is or are correct? इसका आंसर है A, only one. The judges of the High Court can be removed from their office during their tenure by the governor if the state legislature passes a resolution to this effect by 2/3 majority, by the Chief Justice on the recommendation of the Parliament, by the President on the basis of a resolution passed by the Parliament by 2/3 majority, by the Chief Justice on the advice of the President. तो इसका आंसर है by the Parliament on the basis of a resolution passed by the Parliament by 2/3 majority. Given below are some of the important functionaries of the Constituent Assembly and their position. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Constitutional Advisor B. N. Rao, Temporary Chairman of the Constituent Assembly Sachidanand Sinha, Permanent President of Constituent Assembly Dr. Ambedkar, a member of Drafting Committee B.L. Mitra. तो इसमें नॉट करेक्टली मैच बोला है, तो इसका आंसर होगा सी, परमानेंट प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली डॉक्टर अंबेडकर. A person can become a citizen of India even if born outside India if his or her father is a citizen of India, mother is a citizen of India, father is a citizen of India at the time of the person's birth, father or mother is a citizen of India at the time of the person's birth. तो इसका आंसर है father or mother is a citizen of India at the time of the person's birth. Which of the following Union Territories has a high court of its own? चंडीगढ़, पौंडीचेरी, दिल्ली. तो इसका आंसर है सी, 3 ओनली, मतलब दिल्ली ओनली. A writ of prohibition is an order issued by the Supreme Court or High Court which affects the production and consumption of liquor, prohibits the police from arresting a person, forbids the administrative authority formatting a particular action, prohibits a quasi-judicial authority from proceeding with a case. इसका आंसर है D, prohibits a quasi-judicial authority from proceeding with a case. Which of the following executive functions of the Council of Ministers are correctly given? It formulates the executive policies of the country. It coordinates the policies, programs, and activities of various departments. It has an important role in filling up various political, judicial, and ambassadorial assignments. It has an important role in the election of the president. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 1, 2 and 3. Which of the following statements regarding the advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court are correct? It is binding on the Supreme Court to give its opinion on any matter referred to it by the President. The full bench on the Supreme Court hears any references made to it under its power of advisory jurisdiction. The opinion given by the Supreme Court on a reference under advisory jurisdiction is not binding on the government. Not more than one reference at a time can be made to the Supreme Court under its power of advisory jurisdiction. Select the answer from the courts given below. तो इसका आंसर है बी 1 and 3 only. Which of the following statements regarding the pardoning powers of the president are not correct? He had the pardoning power in respect of sentence by court martial. He can grant reprieve and respite in case of punishment for an offence against any law of the land, union, or state. He alone can pardon a sentence of death. His exercise of the power of pardon is open to judicial review. तो इसका आंसर है बी 2 and 3. The Indian Constitution establishes a secular state, meaning the state treats all religions equally. Freedom of faith and worship is allowed to all the people. Educational institutions, without exception, are free to impart religious instructions. The state makes no discrimination on the basis of the religion in matters of employment. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1, 2 and 4. The maximum age till the judges of the Supreme Court hold office is 65 years, 62 years, 70 years, no age limit. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 65 years. The vice president who assumes the office of the president in case of vacancy due to death holds it for the unexpired term 1 year, 6 months at most. The period till the date for presidential election is notified. तो इसका आंसर है 6 months at most. What are the rights of an arrested person in India? A person cannot be arrested and detained without being informed why he is being arrested. A person who is arrested cannot be denied to be defended by a legal practitioner of his choice. This means that the arrested person has right to hire a legal practitioner to defend himself or herself. Every person who has been arrested would be produced before the nearest magistrate within 48 hours. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 1 and 2 are correct. Which one of the following are the powers of the Supreme Court of India? It appoints the judges of the High Court. It is a court of record and enjoys all the power of such a court. The decisions of the Supreme Court are enforceable throughout the territory of India. It decides all the disputes regarding the election of the president or the vice president. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 2, 3 and 4. Which of the following are correct? The High Court is the highest court of law and appeal in the state. Appeals from all the lower courts need not be taken to the High Court but directly to the Supreme Court. High courts are not established in all the states. All the above are true. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 and 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the Prime Minister's position? He presides over the meetings of the cabinet. He can remove any minister who refuses to cooperate with him. He and his ministers are responsible to the Lok Sabha. When the Prime Minister resigns, the senior-most minister in the Council of Ministers is appointed the Prime Minister. तो इसका आंसर है A 1, 2 and 3. In India, mandamus will lie against officers bound to do a public duty, government, both officers and the government, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है C, both officers and the government. At a joint sitting of Parliament, a bill has to be passed by a simple majority of the total number of members of both houses, by a two-thirds majority of the total number of members of both houses, by a simple majority of the total members of both houses present and voting, by a two-thirds majority of the total number of members of both houses present and voting. तो इसका आंसर है सी by a simple majority of the total number of members of both houses present and voting. The Vice President of India can be removed from the office before the expiry of his term by the Rajya Sabha through a resolution passed by the two-thirds majority and agreed to by the Lok Sabha, by the President and the recommendation of the Supreme Court of India, by the Central Council of Ministers, by the President. इसका आंसर है by the Rajya Sabha through a resolution passed by two-thirds majority and agreed to by the Lok Sabha. Regarding sources of the Indian Constitution, which among the following are correctly matched? Parliamentary System Ireland, Fundamental Rights USA, Emergency Provision UK, Directive Principles of State Policy German Rich. तो इसका आंसर है बी फंडामेंटल राइट्स यूएसए. नॉट करेक्टली पूछा है इसमें, करेक्टली पूछा है तो ये होगा. Which one of the following fundamental rights is available to foreigners residing in India? Freedom to move about freely and settle down in any part of the country, equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, right to life and personal liberty, none of the above. तो इसका आंसर है सी, right to life and personal liberty. Consider the following statements. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan was the first chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Sri S. P. Krishnamurti Rao was the first deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha. The first woman nominated member of the Rajya Sabha was Srimati Rukmini Devi Arundale. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1, 2 and 3. Who is empowered to suspend the operations of fundamental rights? Parliament, Supreme Court, President, Prime Minister. तो इसका आंसर है President. Article 32 confers the right to constitutional remedies for the enforcement of the affair of an aggrieved citizen. Consider the following statements with reference to Article 32. Parliament can suspend this right during national emergency. Only Supreme Court shall have the power to issue writs for the enforcement of any of the fundamental rights. Correct statement is or are D. None. Which of the committee of the Parliament is concerned with putting a financial check on executive? Committee on Public Undertaking, Public Accounts Committee, Estimates Committee, Advisory Committee. तो इसका आंसर है बी, पब्लिक अकाउंट्स कमिटी. Protection of which one of the following is a fundamental duty in India? Village Panchayat, National Flag, Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes, Wildlife. इसका आंसर है Wildlife. Which of the following powers of the Prime Minister in relation to the Council of Ministers has been correctly listed? He allocates portfolios among the members of the Council of Ministers. The President, he presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers. All the members of the Council of Ministers are appointed by the President on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the Chief General of communication between the President and the Council of Ministers and keeps the former informed about all the decisions of the Council. तो इसका आंसर है B, 1, 2 and 4. The defeat of government in Rajya Sabha leads to its dismissal by the President, resignation by Prime Minister, advice by President to Prime Minister to relinquish office. None of these. तो इसका आंसर है D, none of these. Right to education is a fundamental right emanating from right to freedom of speech and expressions under Article 19(1)(a). Culture and education under Article 29 and 30, life and personal liberty under Article 21, equality before law and equal protection of law under Article 40. तो इसका आंसर है life and personal liberty under Article 21. A member of Parliament enjoys immunity from prosecution of having said anything during the session of the Parliament anywhere in the Parliament and its committee, at the press conference, on the floor of the Parliament. तो इसका आंसर है in the parliament and its committees. When does the President of India have a choice in the appointment of the Prime Minister? When one party has an absolute majority in the Lok Sabha, the President do not have any choice in the appointment of the PM and is bound to follow the majority party's decision. When no single party has an absolute majority in Lok Sabha, when no recognized party has majority in the Lok Sabha. तो इसका आंसर है when no single party has an absolute majority in the Lok Sabha. Which state sends the maximum representatives to the Lok Sabha? हिमाचल प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, वेस्ट बंगाल, उत्तर प्रदेश. तो इसका आंसर है उत्तर प्रदेश. The fundamental duties of the Indian citizens are enshrined in Part 4 of the Constitution, Part 4A of the Constitution, Part 3A of the Constitution and Schedule 4A. तो इसका आंसर है in Part 4A of the Constitution. The members of which one of the following standing committees are chosen exclusively from the members of the Lok Sabha? Public Accounts Committee, Committee on Public Undertakings, Committee on Estimates, Committee on Public Accounts. तो इसका आंसर है C, Committee on Estimates. Regarding the military power of the President, it would be true to state that the supreme command of the defense forces vests in the President. The President's power to declare war on peace or peace is subject to regulation by Parliament. The President needs the sanction of Parliament to expand on training and maintaining the defense force. As Commander-in-Chief of the India, the President is independent of legislative control. तो इसका आंसर है C, 1, 2 and 3. The quorum of the Parliament is fixed at 1/10 of the membership of the House, 2/3 of the membership of the House, 1/3 of the membership of the House, to 1/8 of the membership of the House. तो इसका आंसर है 1/10 of the membership of the House. 47 नंबर एसेशन रीजन है. एसेशन में दिया है डायरेक्टर प्रिंसिपल्स आर नॉट affected. Directive principles are not enforceable by any court. Reason: directive principles are more or less fundamental in government of the country. तो इसका आंसर है both assertion and reason are true and reason is not the correct explanation for assertion. one of the following statements about the Parliamentary Committee on the Public Sector Undertaking are true. It examines the reason, if any, or any of the Comptroller and Auditor General of the on the public undertakings. It approves the appointment of the chairman of certain specified public sector undertakings. It examines whether public undertakings are being run efficiently. It also examines whether they are being engaged in accordance with sound business principles and prudential commercial practice. So it's considered 1, 3, and 4. What are the Gandhian principles incorporated in the Indian Constitution? Efforts to be made for the development of weaker or backward sections of the society, prohibition on the use of intoxicating liquor except for medicinal purposes, organization of village panchayats, establishment of cottage and small scale industries to in rural areas. तो इसका आंसर है D, all 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which one of the following powers is exclusively vested in the Rajya Sabha? To initiate impeachment proceeding against the President, to recommend the creation of All Indian Service, to remove the Vice President, all these powers. तो इसका आंसर है B, to recommend the creation of All India Service. Which of the following statements is or are not indicative of the difference between fundamental rights and directive principles? Directive principles are aimed at promoting social welfare, while fundamental rights are for protecting individuals from state encroachment. Fundamental rights are limitations on state action, while directive principles are positive instruction for the government to work towards a just social economic order. Fundamental rights were inclined in the original constitution, but directive principles were added by the First Amendment. Fundamental rights are amendable, but directive principles cannot be amended. तो इसका आंसर होगा C, 3 and 4. Consider the following statement. The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Rajya Sabha is not subject to dissolution. Vice President of India acts as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. The deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha is elected by the members of the Rajya Sabha from amongst its members. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Parliament is empowered to get all the following removed except Comptroller and Auditor General, Supreme Court judges, Chairman of UPSC, High Court judges. तो इसका आंसर होगा चेयरमैन ऑफ यूपीएससी. Which of the following directives has not been included in the Constitution with regard to conduct of international relations? Work for the maintenance of just and honorable relations between nations, show respect for international law and treaty obligations, encourage settlements of international disputes through arbitration, work for disarmament. तो इसका आंसर है work for disarmament. Which one of the following changes is not affected during the national emergency? The President can issue direction to the state with regard to exercise of their executive powers, certain discretionary powers of the President, the fundamental rights of the Indian citizens can be suspended, the distribution of revenue between union and states can be modified. तो इसका आंसर है B. Certain discretionary powers of the President. Which among the following is true about Which among the following is true about duration of an emergency under Article 356 and 352? Maximum duration under Article 356 can be of 3 years, while under Article 352 it may continue indefinitely. Maximum duration under Article 352 can be of 3 years, while under Article 356 it may continue indefinitely. Maximum duration under Article 356 as well as Article 352 is 3 years. Maximum duration under Article 356 as well as Article 352 is indefinite. तो इसका आंसर है A. Maximum duration under Article 356 can be of 3 years, while under Article 352 it may continue indefinitely. Which of the following are the functions of Gram Panchayat? Social welfare activities such as implementation of family planning and family welfare program, development work like construction of roads, tanks, irrigation facilities and school, maintenance of public order, civil amenities such as sewerage system, village sanitation, drinking water and arrangement of lighting. Choose the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर होगा C 1, 2 and 4. The Sarpanch, who is the chairman of the village panchayat, is elected by the panchayat from among persons who are not members of the panchayat, elected by the panchayat from among its members, nominated by the chairman of the panchayat samiti, appointed by the district officers on the recommendation of the panchayat. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, elected by the panchayat from among its members. Which of the following compositions of Panchayat Samiti are correct? Sarpanch of Panchayat, persons representing cooperatives, local MPs, MLAs and MLCs, persons representing scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and women are co-opted and whose memberships are reserved. Choose the correct answer using the code given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, ऑल ऑफ दिस. Which among the following are true about the 73rd Constitutional Amendment in the area of Panchayati Raj? 30% seats in all elected rural local bodies will be reserved for women candidates at all levels. The state will constitute the Finance Commission to allocate resources to Panchayati Raj institution. The Panchayati Raj elected functionaries will be disqualified to hold their offices if they have more than 2 children. The election will be held in 6 months' time if Panchayati Raj bodies are superseded or dissolved by the state government. तो इसका आंसर है डी 1, 2 and 4. Consider the following objectives: bringing about uniformity in the structure of local governments throughout the country, ensuring regular and rational flow of funds from the state's revenue, having properly elected governments at regular intervals, having single unified authority for cities management and development. Which of these did the 74th Amendment to the Constitution of India try to inject into the working of urban local bodies? तो इसका आंसर है सी 1, 2 and 3. Who among the following is hailed as the father of local self-government in India? Lord Mayo, Lord Ripon, Jawaharlal Nehru, महात्मा गांधी. तो इसका आंसर है लॉर्ड रिपन. The limitations on the authority of the state legislatures do not include Parliament's authority to make laws on subjects in the state list during an emergency, Parliament's authority to make laws on state subjects if Rajya Sabha passes a resolution as required by the Constitution, the Governor's discretionary powers to dissolve the legislature, the Governor's power to reserve certain bills for the consideration of the state consideration of the President. तो इसका आंसर है सी, the Governor's discretionary powers to dissolve the legislature. In which one of the following state legislative council was abolished on the recommendations of the Legislative Assembly? Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, Tamil Nadu and Bihar, Nagaland and Sikkim. तो इसका आंसर है आंध्र प्रदेश एंड तमिलनाडु. Which one of the following statements correctly reflects the position of the upper house of the state legislature as compared to the position of the upper house of parliament? While 1/3 of the members of the Rajya Sabha retire every second year, 1/4 of the members of the Legislative Council retire every year. There is no provisions for a joint sitting of the Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council in the state, while there is such a provision in the case of the two houses of Parliament. While no bill other than a money bill can originate in the state Legislative Council, no bill can originate in the Rajya Sabha. While Rajya Sabha has 12 nominated members, the state Legislative Council has none. तो इसका आंसर है B. There is no provision for joint sitting of the Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council in the state, while there is such a provision in the case of the two houses of Parliament. The phrase bicameral legislature means a single assembly, an elected legislature, a legislature consisting of a lower and an upper chamber, parliamentary system of government. तो इसका आंसर है C. A legislature consisting of a lower and an upper chamber. Consider the following statements. Under Article 169 of the Constitution of India, Parliament may by law provide for the abolition of legislative councils of a state having such a council or more, for the creation of such a council in a state having no such council. For this, the only condition is that the Legislative Assembly must have passed resolution to that effect by a majority of the total membership of the Assembly. Under Article 171 of the Constitution of India, total number of members to the Legislative Council of a state having such a council shall not exceed one half of the total number of members in the Legislative Assembly of the state. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 only. 68 assertion and reason है. Assertion है the Constitution of India provides for the appointment of the governor of a state for a period of 5 years. Reason the governor holds office during the pleasure of the president. In the context of the above two statements, which one of the following is correct? तो इसका आंसर है B. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. 69 मैच द फॉलोइंग है. लिस्ट 1 में दिया है एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर, लेजिस्लेटिव पावर, फाइनेंशियल पावर, डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर. लिस्ट 2 में है द गवर्नर हैज़ राइट टू पावर give assent to the bills passed by the state legislature and can reserve certain types of bill for the constitution of the president. No money bill can be introduced in the legislative assembly except on the recommendation of the governor. The governor appoints the chief minister and other ministers on the advice of the chief minister. The governor can dismiss a ministry where it refuses to resign even after losing majority support in the house. तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं. एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर का होगा ये वाला द गवर्नर अपॉइंट्स. लेजिस्लेटिव पावर्स का होगा द गवर्नर हैज राइट टू पावर. फाइनेंशियल पावर्स का होगा नो मनी बिल. और डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर्स का होगा द गवर्नर कैन डिसमिस. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. ए गवर्नर कैन इशू an ordinance whenever he likes, whenever the chief minister advises him, whenever the state legislature is not in session and the governor is satisfied that immediate action is needed, when the union government tells him to do so. तो इसका आंसर है whenever the state legislature is not in session and the governor is satisfied that immediate action is needed. If a chief minister dies, the senior most member of the Council of Ministers automatically becomes the Chief Minister. The Council of Ministers automatically stands dissolved. The Chief Justice of the High Court succeeds him as the Chief Minister. The Governor immediately appoints a new Chief Minister. तो इसका आंसर होगा the Council of Ministers stands dissolved. Which of the following statements about the ordinance of the governor are correct? The Constitution authorizes the governor to promulgate ordinances during the period when the state legislature is not in session. Article 213. An ordinance promulgated by a governor has the same force as an act passed by the state legislature, but it ceases to be effective at the expiration of 6 weeks from the date when the state legislature reassemble or before the end of the period if a resolution is passed by the legislature disapproving the said ordinance. Some ordinances were kept alive for periods ranging from 1 to 14 years by reformulating them again and again. This answer option D, all of the above, 1, 2, and 3. Consider the following statements in respect of financial emergency under Article 360 of the Constitution of India. A proclamation of financial emergency issued shall cease to operate at the expiration of 2 months unless before the expiration of that period it has been approved by the resolution of both houses of parliament. If any proclamation of financial emergency is in operation, it is competent of the President of India to issue direction for the reduction of salaries and allowances of all or any class of persons serving in connection with the affairs of the Union, but excluding the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? So, इसका आंसर है A, one only. Which one of the following articles of the Indian Constitution provide that it shall be the duty of the Union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbances? Article 215, Article 275, Article 325, Article 355. तो इसका आंसर है Article 355. Which of the following does not give correctly the name of the original state out of whose territory the new state was created? Andhra Pradesh from the state of Madras, Jharkhand from Bihar, Meghalaya from Assam, Goa from Maharashtra. तो इसका आंसर है D, Goa from Maharashtra. Special status was accorded to J&K in terms of an assurance given to the state government at the time of its secession, Indian Independence Act 1947, the ceasefire agreement concluded with Pakistan in 1948, all the above. तो इसका आंसर है A, an assurance given to the state government at the time of its secession. Which of the following subjects can be amended by special majority and ratification by states? Method of election of the president, extension of executive and legislative powers of the union or the states, provisions regarding the Supreme Court and the High Court, the representation of states in parliament. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. इसका आंसर है D, all of the above, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which one of the following constitutional amendment made it possible to appoint one person to hold the office of the governor in 2 or more states simultaneously? Constitution 7th Amendment Act 1956, Constitution 4th Amendment Act 1976, Constitution 43rd Amendment Act 1977, Constitution 44th Amendment Act 1978. इसका आंसर है A, Constitution 7th Amendment Act 1956. Which one of the following features regarding organization of parties in India has been wrongly listed? The political parties in India are not well organized. Most of the political parties in India are organized around certain leaders. The organizational election of political parties in India are held at regular intervals. Most of the political parties in India do not hold organizational elections at regular intervals. तो इसका आंसर है C. The organizational election of political parties in India are held at regular intervals. Which one of the following is correct in respect of the commencement of election process in India? The recommendation for election is made by the government and the notification for election is issued by the Election Commission. The recommendation for the election is made by Election Commission and the notification for election is issued by the Home Ministry at the center and Home Departments in the state. The recommendation for election is made by the Election Commission and the notification for election is issued by the President and Government of the states concerned. Both the exercise of making recommendation for election and that of issuing a notification in respect of it are done by the Election Commission. इसका आंसर है A. The recommendation for election is made by the government and the notification for election is issued by the Election Commission. Which one of the following political parties is there are national political parties? National Indian National Congress, Rashtriya Janata Dal, Bharatiya Janata Party, Communist Party of India. M. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है B 1, 3 and 4. Consider the following task. Superintendent's direction and conduct a free and fair election. Preparation of electoral rolls for all elections to the parliament, state legislatures and the office of the president and the vice president. Giving recognition to political parties and allotting the election symbols to political parties and individuals contesting the election. Proclamation of final verdict in the case of election disputes. Which of the above are the functions of the Election Commission of India? इसका आंसर है A 1, 2 and 3. A bill for the alteration of boundaries of state cannot be introduced in the parliament without the recommendation of the presiding officers of both the houses of parliament, the legislature of the state concerned, the Supreme Court of India, the President of India. इसका आंसर है the President of India. Consider the following statements. The Finance Commission of India differs from the Planning Commission because the former is a constitutional body and latter a cabinet creation. The former determines the principle of allocation of grants in aid to the states and the latter allocates funds for the central and the state governments. The former emphasizes the distinction between planned and non-planned expenditure and the latter maintains it. The former's report is submitted to the Union Finance Minister and the latest to the Cabinet. Which of these are correct? तो इसका आंसर है A 1 and 2. The Parliament can make a law on a subject in the state list when a proclamation of emergency is in force. Two or more states make a request for the Parliament to make a law on a subject. Rajya Sabha passes a resolution that such subjects have acquired national importance. तो इसका आंसर है D 1, 2 and 3. When does the state law have precedence over central law on the concurrent subject? If the Supreme Court so advises, if the state law was passed earlier, if the law passed by the state was approved by the President before enactment of law on the same subject by the Parliament, in no case. तो इसका आंसर है in no case. Which of the following is not a function of the Interstate Council? Inquiring into and advising upon disputes between the states, investigating and educating on subjects in which states have a common interest, making recommendation for better coordination of policy, investigating matters in which union has an interest. तो इसका आंसर है investigating and educating on subjects in which states have a common interest. Which of the following statement regarding the Planning Commission is not true? It is a body consisting of only specialists. It has been regarded as the super cabinet. It consists of both generalists and specialists. It consists of nominees of the National Development Council. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है D 1 and 4. Which of the following statements are correct? The salary allowances and other service conditions of the Chief Information Commission are similar to those of the Chief Election Commissioner. The salary allowances and other service conditions of the State Information Commission are similar to those of the Chief Justice of High Court. The salary allowances and other service conditions of the Chief Vigilance Commissioner are similar to those of the Chairman of UPSC. इसका आंसर है A 1 and 3 only. Which of the following functions have been laid down in the 12th schedule of the Constitution of India for the municipalities? Urban poverty alleviation, planning for economic and social development, regulation for tanneries, urban forestry. Select the correct answer using the code given below. इसका आंसर है D 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which of the following schedule of the Constitution was added by the 35th Amendment in 1974 and deleted by the 36th Amendment in 1975? 8th, 9th, 10th, none of the above. इसका आंसर है 10th. Which of the following statements are true about Tribal Commission? Article 339 says President to appoint a Tribal Commission. So far, 3 Tribal Commissions have been set up. First Tribal Commission was constituted in 1960. Which of the following is or are correct? इसका आंसर है C 1 and 3. Match the following है ये. First, the abolition of untouchability, abolition of titles, prohibition of child labor, prohibition of traffic in human beings. Article 24, Article 23, Article 17, Article 18. तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं. अनटचेबिलिटी हक का है आर्टिकल 17, ऑपरेशन ऑफ टाइटल्स का है आर्टिकल 18, प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ चाइल्ड लेबर का है आर्टिकल 24 और प्रोहिबिशन ऑफ ट्रैफिक इन ह्यूमन का है आर्टिकल 23. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. 94 की लिस्ट में द फॉलोइंग है. लिस्ट 1 में है आर्टिकल 16(2), आर्टिकल 29(2), आर्टिकल 31, आर्टिकल 31(1). लिस्ट 2 में है नो पर्सन शैल बी डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी सेव बाय द अथॉरिटी ऑफ लॉ. No person can be discriminated against in the matter of public appointment on the ground of race, religion, or caste. All minorities, whether based on religion or language, shall have the fundamental right to establish and administer educational institution on their choice. No citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution maintained by the state or receiving state aid on grounds of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं. आर्टिकल 16 का होगा नो पर्सन कैन बी डिस्क्रिमिनेटेड. आर्टिकल 29 का होगा नो पर्सन शैल बी डिप्राइव्ड. आर्टिकल 30 का होगा ऑल माइनॉरिटीज और आर्टिकल 31 का होगा नो पर्सन शैल बी डिप्राइव्ड. तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन ए. Consider the following statement. Criminal proceedings for dishonoring of check can be initiated only in case the check is dishonored because of insufficient amount in the account. Signatures do not match also implies that the specimen signature do not match the signatures on the check would constitute a dishonor and hence liable for criminal proceedings. Which of the above statements is or are correct? Its answer is D, only two. Which of the following statements about recruitment of women in army recently is or are correct? Women officers have been granted service commission in combat branches. Women officers have been granted permanent commission in combat branches. Women officers have been granted permanent commission in non-combat branches. तो इसका आंसर है D, 3 only. The Protection of Child from Sexual Offences Act 2012 came into force on November 14, 2012. Which of the following statements is not correct? Offences against those up to 14 years of age come under purview of the bill. The bill is gender neutral. Lifetime is the maximum punishment for offences covered under the bill. The bill puts the burden of proof on the accuser. इसका आंसर है Option A. Offences against those up to 14 years of age comes under purview of the bill. Which among the following statements is true about national right to Homestead Bill 2013? Every settlers poor family has a right to hold homestead of not less than 10 cents within a period of 10 years commencing from the date of notification. Every shelterless poor family has a right to hold homestead of not less than 10 cents within a period of 8 years commencing from the date of notification. Every shelterless poor family has a right to hold homestead of not less than 5 cents within a period of 10 years commencing from the date of notification. Every shelterless poor family has a right to hold homestead of not less than 5 cents within a period of 8 years commencing from the date of notification. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए. Every shelterless poor family has a right to hold homestead of not less than 10 cents within a period of 10 years commencing from the date of notification. Which of the following statements about the post of Chief Information Commissioner CIC are correct? CIC is appointed for a term of 5 years from date on which he enters upon his office or till he attains the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. CIC is not eligible for reappointment. Salary of the CIC is the same as that of the Chief Election Commissioner. तो इसका आंसर है D, 1, 2 and 3. The Constitution of India provides that a bill passed by the Union Parliament cannot become a law until the President accords his approval to it. Normally, the President accords his approval, but he can withhold his assent and can ask the House to reconsider it. This power is applicable to the money bills, ordinary bills, financial bills. तो इसका आंसर है C, 2 and 3, ordinary bills and financial bills. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज़ ख़त्म होता है. और अगर आप चैनल पर न्यू हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आप डेली लाइव क्लास ज्वाइन कर सके. वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए. तो हमारा आज का सेशन यहीं तक था. थैंक यू. थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग.